Dr. Shiva, are you there? Can you hear me? Dr. Shiva, can you hear me? Good evening. Dr. Shiva, can you hear me?
Hello, sir.
Hello, Ji.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I hope you can also hear me because I'm sitting in a different location. So just want to check if it's
Yes.
all good.
Yes, sir. Everything is good.
So you can hear me. Very good. Okay, so I can also hear you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Okay,
so much. You are way ahead.
I know it's still we have a 15 minutes, but
Yes,
it's
yes,
better if you check all the things
yes,
beforehand.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
hope you can also see me because I'm sitting in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can see you very nicely. Background,
Okay.
your college office. So nice. Thank you so much, sir. Hope you can also
Right.
feel
Okay. Thank you.
comfortably.
It's
Looking forward for interesting session.
Yeah, looking forward for the good interaction. All right.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. So we have few more minutes to start. So we have both Dr. Priyog Sindhu and Dr. Syed Rahman sir. Both of them are there online. And we'll just wait for 3-4 minutes and then we'll start immediately. Nice to see already 35 people already online. And I can see that, our program received overwhelming response. More than 180 people registered, and hope that all 100 seats are occupied and additional people can use YouTube channel. I have given the link also in the WhatsApp group. So we are growing continuously. As all of you know that MPS is a registered society, and you have already witnessed the video, the milestone video. I just played just to save time and also engage all of you. Hope all of you enjoyed looking at the growth of our society. And our society is gaining a lot of recognition throughout the country, and more than 160 participants, 160 life members already registered with our society. And we have a website, www.mpsmdpharmac.org. You can visit and then scroll for how to become member, and you can join as life member. As all of you know that Medical Pharmacology Society is mainly targeting to serve for development of the MD pharmacologists and also help to serve or also help and develop the younger pharmacologists, MD pharmacologists who are just graduating and they are interested to grow in our profession. So they all can join hands to make themselves proud and feel good about their own profession. And with this, I was just taking few minutes so that we cross our time. So now, we just reached 6 p.m. Now I would like to start the program with the welcome address. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of organizing team, I warmly welcome you all to this special webinar organized by the MPS, Medical Pharmacology Society, to mark World Environment Day 2025. Today, we gather to reflect on a pressing issue that intersects healthcare and environmental responsibility, the topic titled Ecopharmacology. As pharmacologists and healthcare professionals, it is our duty not just to heal, but also to protect the environment from the unintended consequences of pharmaceutical pollution. We are honored to have an esteemed lineup of experts with us today. and I thank you all for joining in this important conversation. Without further ado, let me now take the privilege of introducing our distinguished chairperson for the session. It is none other than Professor Syed Ziaur Rahman. He is the first person to introduce the term environmental pharmacology. I think pharmaco-environmentology. He is the first person to introduce this term to this world, and we are very fortunate that he is with us. Thank you so much for sir for accepting our invitation and agreeing to chair the session. We are highly privileged to have you, and I feel that I am very much blessed to have you all as our life member, and also to address this important meeting. Just to little bit introduction about Dr. Professor Syed Rahman sir. He has devoted over 2 decades to the field of pharmacology, accumulating extensive research experience in both basic and clinical pharmacology at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. As a distinguished scholar, he has to his credit 7 published books, 17 chapters, and over 200 research papers, case reports, and communications featured in national and international journals. In addition to his prolific publication record, Professor Rahman has edited 11 periodicals and has been a sought-after speaker, delivering over 200 lectures and serving as a resource person in the numerous national and international academic programs. He has actively participated in 85 workshops and training programs, and his scholarly endeavors have taken him to present papers at hundreds of international and same in number at national conferences. He has organized 3 international conferences, 25 national conferences, symposiums, and CMEs. Furthermore, he has overseen 11 academic projects, demonstrating his commitment to advancing the field of pharmacology through scholarly research, dissemination, and academic engagement. He earned his matriculation in 1987 from Minto Circle School, graduation MBBS in 1995, and post-graduation MD in 2000 from Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. His doctoral research conducted at the School of Medicine, Western Sydney University, Australia, focused on the health, medication, and lifestyle factors impacting self-rating memory as part of Sex Institute 45 and up study project. Contribution in pharmacovigilance. In the realm of pharmacovigilance, he has been instrumental in reporting several cases of adverse drug reactions from the first time. Beyond traditional pharmacovigilance, he has also ventured into phytovigilance and material vigilance and introduced the concept of environmental pharmacovigilance. He coined the term pharmaco-environmentology to describe the study of therapeutic drugs and their impact on the environment. Actively engaged in the Society of Pharmacovigilance India, SOPI, he initiated the publication of Journal of Pharmacovigilance and Drug Safety in 2003 and organized significant conferences such as SOPICon 2014 and SOPICon 2024 at JNMC ANU, Aligarh Muslim University. Presently, he serves as the National Secretary of the Society. Furthermore, his involvement extends to international platforms as evidenced by its participation in the local organizing committees of the International Society of Pharmacovigilance 2016 conference held in Agra. As an active member of ISOP, he contributes to special interest groups SIGs focusing on ecopharmacovigilance and herbal and traditional medicine. His efforts have also led to the establishment of AMC, TVCI, and MDMC, MVPI at JNMC, AMU Aligarh. In 2024, MDMC, MVPI was upgraded to the Regional Training Center under MVPI, Government of India. So, with so much of achievements, you are with us, and we are really privileged, sir. Thank you so much for accepting to be with us and chair the session. May I request you, sir, to take over the stage and help us to progress with today's program. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shivamurthy, for introducing me and giving me an opportunity to chair this important lecture on ecopharmacology, which is also close to my heart. And I would really love to hear the lecture by Dr. Suyog Sindhu. So it's my privilege, before we ask her for her important lecture on ecopharmacology, it's my honor to introduce the speaker today. Dr. Suyog, I met her when I went to her institute at the KGMC. So she's associate professor there in the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics, obviously the King George Medical University, very prestigious institute, one of the prestigious institute in India. She's very active member of the medical education. So she did her FAMR fellowship from the Manipal Academy of Higher Education. And then she became the member of multiple prestigious body like the International Association of Medical Education, including the Medical Pharmacology Society and the Association of Health Professionals, Educators, Indian Pharmacological Society, and Association of Physiologists and Pharmacology of India. Being having interest in editing and writing chapters, so she is also engaged in editing like IGPP and member of editorial boards, including the journal of the NPT in Pharmacology Journal. She has authored books, and luckily I also have her books which she wrote after the CBME curriculum, and also on DOAP. And in addition to her own books, she has contributed book chapters and numerous peer-reviewed publications. Obviously, she has chaired many sessions and presented her works at various national and international conferences. But her main focus is on medical education reform and interprofessional education. So after getting the FAMR fellowship, obviously she is involved on medical curriculum. So in addition to medical curriculum, she is also taking interest in green pharmacology and eco-pharmacovigilance, and also diabetes mellitus. So with this introduction, I would request Dr. Siu to please start, and we'll be here to your lecture. Over to Dr. Siu.
A warm namaskar to one and all. Humbled by your kind words, sir. It's an honor to have you as a chairperson. You are the person who had a vision for this topic years ago, and no one even thought of this ecopharmacology. So, without further formalities, I'll start the webinar. And sir, following your vision, I'm presenting this webinar. So, wherever you find relevant, please do check me and guide me further. So, starting with the topic, in this webinar, we'll try to understand and how to mitigate the environmental impact of pharmaceuticals. The webinar flow has been designed by me. First, we'll have introduction, followed by scientific insights. Take the laser. Yes. And then we'll discuss some industry perspectives and practical approaches, followed by education strategies. In the end, I will summarize and also talk about road ahead, followed by question and answer session as by permission from chairpersons. So to start with, I want the audience to reflect upon what's going on around us. I'll show you some pics from the recent publications, newspapers, and the literature. Here comes the first one. So this article read about a dead vulture in Assam. You must have heard this news somewhere or the other as pharmacologists. And the causative agent for the death of this vulture was diclofenac, the commonly used anti-inflammatory drug. It was used in the livestock. The cause was when the livestock, the cattle in which this diclofenac was being used, when they died, they were eaten by these vultures. And this drug affected the kidneys of the vultures, resulting into their death. So we were not concerned much about the death of the vultures. What was more alarming was that in the absence of these natural scavengers, the dogs in that locality, they started eating those dead animals and they became rabid. This was the major concern. So we wanted our natural scavengers, the vultures, back. And in 2006, this particular drug, diclofenac, has been banned for use in veterinary in the southeastern countries of India, Nepal, and Pakistan. This was the first thing where you have to reflect. Here comes the second one. The news reads, meth addict fish, agro starlings, caffeinated minnows, animals radically changed by human drugs. Addiction, anxiety, and sex reversal have been reported in species by researchers as a range of substances which contaminate the ecosystems. Next comes, it reads, collapse of a fish population after exposure to synthetic estrogen. The psychoactive pollutant fluoxetine compromises anti-predator behavior in fish. Ecological and human health risk assessment of pharmaceutical compounds in the Sirsa River of Indian Himalayas. This particular river was found to be high in ciprofloxacin, norfloxacin, cetirizine, and citalopram oxalate, and many other drugs. These drugs are acting on the natural algae present in the river water, and they are causing the bloom of harmful algae. So this is the concern. Another post from a newspaper, New York Post, which reads, salmon are swimming faster due to the painkillers dumped into the rivers. Another study, another publication, rivers you think are pristine are not. How drug pollution flooded the UK's waterways and put human health at risk. Antibiotic levels tested higher than those thought to promote antimicrobial resistance, where bacteria develop resistance to life-saving medicines. The newspaper read that if the kids played in here or animals drank it, it's possible that they could consume bacteria that have acquired resistance. The river Thames is having high content of cocaine. So isn't it a red flag? So just reflect. As pharmacologists, maybe industry or as academicians, we all are facing this menace of pharmaceutical pollution and we need to fight it. So this all evidence that the pharmaceutics are endangering our environment. All this study is covered by Ecopharmacology. This topic. So actually reduces the environment is the environment better. How and terms of view, one is pharmacology. Both related though different. Let's see how. Ecopharmacology is the systematic monitoring of adverse effects of pharmaceuticals on the environment. It encompasses the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects or any other drug-related problem impacting ecosystems and wildlife. So, how to differentiate the two terms now? So what you can say is ecopharmacology is the branch which generates the evidence how pharmaceutics are damaging the environment. So that scientific generation is ecopharmacology. And the application of this knowledge to prevent harm to the environment is ecopharmacovigilance. Both are interrelated. So moving ahead, let's have a few scientific insights into pharmaceutical pollution. Reports have said that the global pharmaceutical market is experiencing significant growth. Like in 2023, the total global pharmaceutical market was estimated to be around 1.6 trillion US dollars, which was $100 billion more than that in 2022. So this increase in pharmaceutical products is actually affecting our environment by destroying the countless species of animals and plants, resulting in climate changes globally. This is how it occurs. Pharmaceutical production occurs for veterinary use, for human use. After these medicines are metabolized and excreted, they come to the environment. They come to the environment. They reach the fresh waters and the terrestrial ecosystems, and back to the humans. And similarly, from the after human consumption, they're excreted out and reach the ecosystems. So these are the sources of pharmaceutical pollution: the pharmaceutical manufacturing, human and animal excretion, improper disposal of medications. This we already seen the after effects, the initial few pics that I showed you, they all told the story how the bad effect is there of the environment of this pharmaceutical pollution, and the major one being the antibiotic resistance. All these drugs entering the ecosystem, the bacteria present in the ecosystem, they are getting resistant to the antibiotics. So when we get infected, the present antibiotics become ineffective because the bacteria are already resistant to these antibiotics which have entered into the ecosystem. Non-therapeutic, pharmaceutical, and personal care products, in short, PPCPs. So who hasn't heard about this Minamata tragedy? Way back in 1950s in Japan, the river Minamata, where this factory was present, it was there was a lot of this mercury waste in the wastewater from this factory, which resulted in the neurological damage of the population residing there. Because their main, the staple diet was fish, and fish were having high content of mercury, which had reached them through the wastewater, through the industry. And even after that tragedy, we are still not awakened. We are using insecticides, pesticides, even in the foodstuffs they are present. So they are still being added to the ecosystem. We need to learn a lesson. These pesticides, insecticides, are acting as endocrine disruptors. Now, talking of industry perspectives and the practical approaches, how to get hold of this pharmaceutical pollution. Let's see how we can do. So there are certain steps where this pharmaceutical industry is harming the environment. First step, at the step of manufacturing. As we all know, manufacture of drugs uses a lot of energy. It's a high demand energy process, also using a lot of water. And of course, there is so much use of chemical. At the step of packaging, there's use of plastic, which is non-recyclable. So this is again impacting our environment harmfully. Coming to the third step of waste disposal. So after the product is made, what about the expired medicines? Where are they going? Is the disposal of the waste, is it proper? Do we have the proper mechanism to clear or clean the wastewater before it is being put into the rivers? It is said that the healthcare services add up to 25% of the carbon to the environment. Now, in Paris, there was a meeting in which a greenhouse gas GHG protocol was made. Based on that, they have given 3 categories how a pharmaceutical industry is adding emission to the environment. First category is called as Scope 1, in which the pharmaceutical company directly adds emission to the environment that is while running its machines and vehicles for the production of the pharmaceutics. Second category is scope 2, in which the company indirectly adds to the environment. That is like it is using electricity, which is being produced by some other company. So they're using a product made by some other company, which is adding to the harmful effect of the environment. That is scope 2. Scope 3 is again indirect emissions. That is the emissions which are being added during the manufacture of a pharmaceutical product while the transportation of products from other places. So the vehicles that they are adding pollution to the environment, that plus the vehicles being used by the employees. So all that comes under scope 3 emissions. So these guidelines have been given to keep a check on the pharmaceutical industries to what level they are adding the emissions to the environment. Based on that, their lessons can be continued or discontinued. So these guidelines have been given. So this has come up. How far they are implemented, that is still we have to research. So we all know we cannot do without drugs. We have to use them. They have to be manufactured. The only solution is we have to make pharmaceutics sustainable. We have to find ways how can we make this process of making or manufacturing pharmaceutics sustainable. Thus, the industry dedicated to our health also leaves a significant mark on the health of our planet. So, this IGAL 2.0 metric. This metric has been given once again to see how much improvement a pharmaceutical company is doing while manufacturing of a product. So earlier we didn't have any any metric or have any basis on what we can on which we can say how poorly a pharmaceutical industry is performing in IGAL 2.0 stands for Innovation Green Aspiration Level, IGAL 2.0. So it is like this. Here it has it checks the performance of the company. It has this RPG standing for Relative Process Greenness. So it records the RPG of a company, which gives the performance, how well the industry is performing in reference to the environmental pollution. It also tells the status, that is the goals, what is the goal of the industry. It takes into account what goal they have set, how much waste they will produce. They take into account the waste produced by the industry. Also, they take into account the innovation. What innovations the company has made to reduce the harmful impact on the environment. So taking all these factors into consideration, the IGAL score is calculated. And based on that, once again, the companies can be given license, whether they can continue with the pharmaceutics or they have to improve upon that. The companies have certain opportunities to make their pharmaceutical practices sustainable. Like number one, they can use more energy efficient ways, like using renewable energies, simplifying the processes, use of less water, less chemicals. Manufacturing can be done applying green chemistry principles, which is the same, that is using the environmental friendly chemicals, use of less fresh water and use of less energy. Water stewardship, use of less fresh water, as we are now having reduced quantities of fresh water available with us. So we have to definitely decrease the use of fresh water now. Decrease the wastewater. If possible, try to recycle the water and improving the disposal of the waste. Waste has to be managed. Decrease production, of course, if possible. If not, circular economic principles, which means that from the waste produced, we can try to recover certain materials which can be reused or recycled. Then, of course, improving the disposal. Supply chains, like we said earlier in scope 3, during transportation, lot of emission is there, which is being added to environment. So the suppliers can be collaborated with to foster sustainable principles. While packaging, recyclable or biodegradable materials can be used for packaging of the pharmaceutical products. the waste hierarchy approach that should be followed to make the process sustainable is, first we should try to prevent the waste, of course. If not possible, at least try to reduce the waste produced. If not even that, at least try to recycle or recover something which can be reusable. And as a last resort, only as a last resort, we have to go with the waste disposal. Let's see what is going on around the world. European Commission. Okay. So they have made it a sort of law now. They have made a strategic approach to pharmaceuticals in the environment. And this law says that firstly, they will increase the awareness and promote prudent use of pharmaceuticals, support development of pharmaceuticals intrinsically less harmful for environment, and promote greener manufacturing. What they have introduced is environmental risk assessment, ERA. Now, this criteria is that all the pharmaceutical industries, they have to produce ERA levels. That is how much risk they are putting to the environment during their process of pharmaceutical production. This ERA, if it passes their threshold values, only then the pharmaceutical industry is given the license to produce their product, else it will not be. So this is a law made by European Commission for European countries. So this was what came out from the European Medicines Agency, EMA. It was given, and this law was supposed to come into effect on 1st September 2024. So after that, I tried to follow on the internet. Nothing has been mentioned. What is the status, whether it has been implemented or not. But yes, definitely it's a good idea if it is implemented. So what is environmental risk assessment guideline? It says that ERA is required for a product containing one or more active substances, like I told you already. All pharmacologically active substances in the product need to undergo ERA. For fixed combination products, the ERA is performed separately for each active substance within the product. Coming to our own country, status in India, sadly, we don't have any definite guidelines like ERA or anything like that. But yes, some initiatives have been taken. The National Green Tribunal has come up and it is also working. So last year there was an article in Times of India stating that a pharmaceutical unit in Haryana, it was imposed a fine of 5 crore rupees. The reason being the area, the land around this industry had become barren. So they were imposed a fine of 5 crore. Although this penalty is not very big for a pharmaceutical company, but yes, something is started in India as well. But to be optimistic, we have some examples of impactful initiatives taken by the pharmaceutical industries, like Tata ELXI and in Mumbai. They started the use of biodegradable products for packaging and prevent the use of plastic. Then Merck company at their Mumbai facility, they also started using sustainable packaging. AstraZeneca, they have started their Ambition Zero Carbon project. So in that, what they have done is AstraZeneca is a company which is known for making meter dose inhalers. And these inhalers, hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, were used as propellants. And these propellants have been found to cause a lot of global warming. The HFCs are greenhouse gases. So now this company is working to replace HFCs with a new compound, which is HFO1234Z. This is a chemical name. A company called Honeywell has come up with this, and this particular chemical, which when used as propellant, adds to almost zero carbon to the environment. So this is how AstraZeneca has come up with the innovation, and they will use it. Another example from Boehringer Ingelheim company, placed in Mumbai. Now, they have shown the significance of having a vision and clear goals for pharmaceuticals. They have made the commitment to use more green pillar, okay, and their goal is by 2030, they aim to be carbon neutral cut their resource footprints by half across the value chain, and continue to create best practices in a range of areas, from water stewardship and waste to landfill to tackling antimicrobial resistance. This is their goal. So companies have started having their vision and goals as well. And they've shown the results have come up. The same company, they showed that the use of renewable energy has increased from 4% in 2019 to 75% in 2023. So that's a huge increment in use of renewable energy. Greenhouse gas emission has decreased by 36%. Water use has decreased now. Freshwater use has decreased. So it was 100% 2019. Now it is just 73% in 2023. Waste production has decreased by 62%. Rates of waste production have decreased. So this is going on. So we can really be optimistic that industries are really working to improve upon their pharmaceutical production processes to have less impact on the environment. Now, talking about the educational strategies, how as educationists we can contribute in preventing pharmaceutical pollution. Strategies include, firstly, to prevent the cause, to reduce the impact, and to achieve the goals. So we can improve upon the prescription practices. We can teach our students. We can teach the doctors, nurses, pharmacists. They can be trained about guidance on advising patients to take the full prescribed amount and avoid over prescribing at the same time. We can train the pharmacist staff to educate the users about proper disposal of medications. Green prescribing includes the same principles, that only the useful, the medications which are useful for the patient, also which have less of environmental risk assessment, ERA. Only such drugs should be prescribed to the patients. Even the patients, there's a patient-centered approach to manage the polypharmacy. The patients have to be counseled that only the useful drugs have to be used by them. They should not go for polypharmacy until unless advised by the physician, and the physician has to prescribe the drugs which are low on ERA. Awareness regarding antimicrobial resistance is to be done. We already started with this. Every year we have a awareness week in December for to make the people aware of antimicrobial resistance. They use that it should not be rampantly used. This all is being done already. Green chemistry in drug development. So researches can be done at institutes to help our counterparts in the industry to come up with the use of more renewable resources, better ways of treating the wastewater to make it less toxic. Wastewater treatment improvements need to be done. So we need to upgrade the wastewater treatment plants to include advanced processes like activated carbon filtration, ozonation, advanced oxidation. So better techniques have to be researched by us. Policy and regulatory education needs to be there. Like in India, we already seen the scene is not very optimistic at present. So we all need to work together. Like this webinar is also a part of it, that we are trying to make all the pharmacologists aware of such grievous problem. We need to really work on this. Public should also be made aware, like flushing down of the medications which are to be disposed is really common among population. We need to make them aware that this should not be done. Once again, people generally, sometimes I've heard that they put the medicines they bury it into the soil when they don't want to use it. So this should not be done. These practices are really harmful to the environment, and this will come back to us later on. We need to collaborate with the organizations, NGOs. We all have to work together, engage the community. Then also we need to make the people aware of the use of pharmaceutics in the agriculture. We need to make them aware that organic farming should be promoted and promoting less use of pesticides. We can promote the use of alternatives to pharmaceutics, like interventions such as lifestyle changes, dietary interventions, before we can introduce pharmaceutical products to the patients. Social media awareness can be taken up. Via media, we can make the people aware regarding this menace. Mobile apps can be made. So this is again a open area for those who are interested. Like presently we have the app for ADR PVPI. Similarly, we may have an app for Ecopharmacovigilance, where people can be made aware and they can be told about how to about disposal methods and they can track their own consumption and disposal behaviors. Youth, of course, they have to be, they are our future. So they can be made aware. We can go to schools and make the children aware about the use of pharmaceutical products. So that was what I wanted to say in today's webinar. To summarize, the current situation is that pharmaceutical pollution is a critical environmental and public health concern. Evidence shows severe ecological impacts like antibiotic resistance, endocrine disruption, and harm to aquatic ecosystems. The key contributors: improper disposal, overprescription, and manufacturing waste. There's limited awareness of pharmaceutical pollutants, environmental consequences. So we need to make the youth aware. Efforts so far: improved wastewater treatments, initiatives in green chemistry and regulatory frameworks. Road ahead, we need to work on education and awareness, train healthcare professionals in sustainable prescribing, public campaigns for proper drug disposal methods, policy and regulation, strengthen guidelines for pharmaceutical risk assessment, advocate for pharmaceutical take-back programs. We really need to work on this. We talk a lot of it, but not much is being done in our country. So we really need to advocate this and try to get it as a policy. Technological and industrial innovations, develop eco-friendly drug formulations, employ green manufacturing processes. Research focus to explore long-term ecological effects, design innovative detection and mitigation strategies. Community and global collaboration to be done. We need to collaborate all over the world. Okay, we have to promote citizen science and community cleanup drives. So to end, it's a call to action for all of us. All of us are present on this platform today. Together, we can mitigate pharmaceutical pollution by adopting sustainable practices, advancing research, and empowering communities. We have to act now. So I thank the Medical Pharmacology Society for giving me this opportunity to talk my heart out on this topic, ecopharmacology. Thank you so much for patiently hearing to me. Together, we build a greener, safer future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sehog, for a wonderful lecture, and very nicely covered almost all the points related to the ecopharmacology and ecopharmacovigilance, right from the definition, concept, and you've also given very good examples of all these disciplines. And you mentioned about the regulatory role, especially in the environmental risk assessment. And like you've given so many examples, not only the therapeutic drugs, but non-therapeutic drugs like PPCPs, endocrine disruptors. So really felt good to hear your lecture. And I hope some may have some questions. So first we'll take some questions and then we will discuss more. Okay. So if anybody has any question, let me see if there are any question in the chat box. So I don't see any question right now, but yes.
Before getting into it, I think Suyog, Dr. Suyog mentioned regarding the EMA guideline. Can you just open, madam?
Sure. Yeah, this one?
Yeah, madam, this one. Before that.
Okay.
Yeah, opening document. Yeah, this one. You can see here, madam, this is data coming into effect. Means that, this is already live. Okay. So this is the, like EMA, they just, announce that this is from this state, whatever the guidelines that are mentioned in this document are implemented. So in that way, it's a kind of, generally EMA guidelines are guidelines, but they come under a separate, they have this EMEH, CSCSMP, all these numbers are there. So this is how, they implement. And in that way, from this onwards, from this date onwards, it is already implemented. It means that whatever
Should be,
the
sir.
guidelines
Actually,
that are
I had first seen this much before September 2024. The same thing was displayed. So, and
Yes,
after
yes.
this, what has happened? I mean, it's not being updated on the internet. Probably they have implemented it.
It is
Probably.
implemented, madam. I think the
It must be.
guidelines means that since we worked in industry,
Hmm.
we believe that whatever it mentions, even the draft guidelines next version comes in, till the
Okay.
implementation is there, the earlier version will be considered for implementation. Thank you so much for bringing this information like the guidelines on environmental risk assessment of medicinal products for human use. I think every pharmaceutical industry who are supposed to export to various European countries and other
Hmm.
international countries where these medicines are accepted for marketing. So they
Hmm.
will be following this. So I think thank you so much for
Yes.
bringing this.
Yeah, Dr. Seog, yeah, in addition to what you mentioned in the European Medicine Evaluation Guidelines, there are guidelines also given by FDA also, you must be aware.
Yes.
And both have,
NEPA.
yes,
Yes, sir.
both have
NEPA
different,
guidelines.
right,
Yes, sir.
both have different like way of calculations, especially pharmaceutics in environment. So there are certain parameters with which we can calculate the PPCPs in the environment, both in aquatic environment and terrestrial environment. So there are different ways of calculating different things. So every regulatory agencies have different way of, yes, you must have seen this thing also.
There is a
So
question, sir. There is a question. Is the impact of use of antibiotics in livestock or environment? That's what some question marks here put. So, is the impact of use of antibiotics in livestock? Question mark is there or environment? Question mark.
yeah, he's asking that
Like,
is there any impact of the antibiotics in livestock?
yes, definitely. Like we said, no, when there's animals, these antibiotics are used in the animals. When they are metabolized and excreted in the outside, I mean, out of the animal, then they are added to the ecosystem. So whether it's from humans or from the animals, they are impacting the ecosystem, definitely. And then it comes back to the humans.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's a vicious cycle. Yeah, antibiotics are used in livestock and aquaculture. Not only antibiotics, other drugs also used in livestock and
Any
aquaculture,
pharmaceutical product.
and they
Yes, sir.
ultimately enter into the through waste coming to
Mm.
manures, and we grow our vegetables on these the feces and of the livestock, and indirectly we are also taking through like our foods, so antibiotics through, yes, and likewise many antibiotics through drinking water also.
Mm.
Sir,
So
I have a
yes, okay, that's why there is a concept of One Health initiative where we
Mm.
need to include animals, humans, as well as the environment. So WHO
Mm.
initiated this One Health program. So
Mm.
yes, that this is only because of this reason that many drugs are misused and overused, not only in humans but also in livestock, and indirectly we are also affecting.
In livestock, in agriculture, like sir, you said, in the aquatic animals. So all wherever the pharmaceutical products are being used, they are harming the environment. All the ecosystem is being hampered by these pharmaceutical products.
Yeah, so
So
One Health is
that
basically the
yes, sir.
symbiosis of the WHO and the UN Environmental Agency, and also the International Organization for the Welfare of the Animals. So they all are working together and have a One Health initiative. So it's a responsibility of all, not only in
Yes.
the hospital setup or in the human, but also like many people are using many drugs. So you have already given the examples of endocrine disruptors. So yes, good.
So, sir, I have a question, the way how the electronic devices are, like the waste or old, useless, or they are, discarded, or out of date, or not non-functional electronic devices, they are
Mm.
channelized in one or the other method. And is there any,
Mm.
organization working towards
Mm.
this, like, for collecting these unused medications or taking back on the incinerating or disposing in a environmental friendly way. So is there any organization working on that, or is it implemented anywhere in the world or in India or any hospital? And what is the guideline given by the NABH? Second question is there any any guidelines issued by the NABH for reducing the harm to the society by unnecessary disposal of medicines to the society or something like that, or in the environment?
So, like regarding the medicines, we are having BMW guidelines in India. They are doing good. Biomedical waste guidelines. So they are being followed how the waste from the hospital, including the drugs, how they have to be disposed of, whether incineration is to be done or they have to give into the back to the companies, or they have to be put in the landfills like that. So BMW guidelines are working good in India. We are following that for hospitals. The other thing that you asked regarding the electronic waste. So for that, exactly, I'm not aware of the guideline name or anything, but yes, something has been done because at our university we have got a separate section for putting all the e-waste there. So whatever old cell phones we have or old dead batteries we have, we all dispose of there. And this waste is taken separately and disposed of separately. Exactly what they're doing, I don't know. I'm not aware of the electronic waste, but yes, something is being done. There are guidelines. I'll research on that too.
Mentioned that like that electronic devices. Is there any processes already established in the hospitals? Is there any standard operating procedure that is suggested by the NABH for the hospitals to follow?
So what I know is of BMW guidelines only,
Okay.
2016 that they are given. So in hospitals, that's how they work. They collect the waste and then dispose of in a mannered way as suggested by the BMW guidelines.
Oh, thank you. And Krishnamurthy D, are there any guidelines on taking back and disposing expired medicines by the pharmaceutical companies? Are there any guidelines on taking back and disposing expired medicines by the pharmaceutical companies?
Great question. There are guidelines. Pharmaceutical companies are supposed to take back the expired or unused medications. So you try to go to the pharmacy wherever you have purchase your medicine from. You're supposed to give them back to them and they will return to pharmaceutical companies. So guidelines are there, but actually in practice, this is not being done in India. So you may try it yourself, go to some pharmacy, try to give them back. But companies actually, because of transportation costs, what I interviewed some pharmacies. I was working on this project. What is being done? So I found this. They are not actually taking back because of this transportation cost. Although there are guidelines present in other countries, this program is really working good. In countries like Sweden, they are taking back the drugs very well. This is being done. The drugs are collected by the pharmacists and they are taken back by the industries, but not in India, sadly. So we really need to work on the regulations also.
Yeah, there is one more question that is actually even I wanted to ask you that what is the proper way of what is the proper way to dispose the expired medicines from the household and hospitals? Are there any take back procedures being followed by the company in India?
So that's similar to the previous one. Regarding the expired drugs or the used drugs in the hospitals, we have the BMW guidelines. So we have to put all such medications in the yellow bin, which are taken back by the BMW people, and they have their fixed protocol how to dispose of this medicine. So that is there. Regarding the household thing, at present we don't have any take back programs working in India. In Kerala, last year, a project was started for this take back program. They have started, they rolled the program. Let's see how the results come. So if it is successful there, maybe it comes to other states as well.
I think we have answered all the questions. So now I would like to request Dr. Zia sir if there is any final comments you want to make.
No, it's really nice, and what we heard from Dr. Soik, and she has answered most of the questions also. So one more question is coming, like research work in ecopharmacology, scope of research work in ecopharmacology.
Mm. Yes, there is a lot of scope. We need to work. Like I said, how this ecopharmacology is a branch which gives us scientific evidence of how the pharmaceutical products are impacting the environment. So what you can do is research in your area, how much harm is being done to the ecosystem by these products. So by taking the pharmaceutical load in the soil or in the water in your city, so you can research on that, and maybe you can then convey to the policymakers. There's so much harm is being done. Please start the take back program or some program for proper disposal of the medication. There's a research scope, and we can find better ways of disposing the medicines ourselves. How to actually dispose, which can be friendly to the consumer. So always take back program is there. It can be done, but what else can be done? Or regarding the packaging, like we said, the plastics is being used in the packaging of the medication. How to do away with that? What other biodegradable materials can be used? So that way research scope is there. This is like then coming to the industry part. There's a lot of scope. How to treat the wastewater to make the effluent least in presence of the pharmaceutical products before they are being put into the rivers. So what all methods can be improved upon. Still we need to work. It is said that ozonization all can be done, but still it's not being done by the industry because the processes are really expensive. Not all companies are managing for that. So research, a lot of scope is there for research in ecopharmacology.
Yes, you can also do in your area, like if there's a river around your city, you can also try to find out the level of therapeutic drugs and non-therapeutic drugs. So that is also something which we can do. In Aligarh, Aligarh is in between the Ganga and Yamuna. So here we also try to see the level of drugs, and we found with the help of the biomedical engineers, higher level of these drugs. So similar studies can also be done apart research work in the ecopharmacology, and you can also look. Dr. Suyog, are you familiar with any guidelines in India like NDCT rules 2019? Have they included this ERA in the trial, in the clinical trials, the importance of the data submitted
Yeah.
related to the environmental risk assessment?
In India, sir, I don't think they have it currently, because NDCT, it is never included this concept. I think it's very important for us to
Yeah, I
sensitize the
know,
guidelines.
because earlier I also wrote to the regulatory authorities when we had Schedule Y. So Schedule Y didn't have anything related to the environmental
Yeah.
if you compare with the EMEA
Yes.
guidelines and FDA. So I'm
Still we
surprised.
don't have it.
Yeah, it's
Still we don't
still
have it. We
like
don't have
we
it.
are we are living in this era, and they revised the guideline in 2019. Even then, they have not included this part. So, yeah, your lecture is important in this way that we need to
Yeah.
submit the recommendation of this lecture also to the higher
Yes.
authorities, and we can also organize similar lectures every year. So MPS can take the initiative
Okay.
of familiarizing the concept of these things and importance of the yes drugs in the environment. So this is also something which we can have as a pharmacologist. At least
Yes.
we can celebrate this World Environment Day in our
Yes.
own way.
Yes, this is the reason, actually, I should appreciate Dr. Suyog Sindhu that she did take up this topic in MPS Con 2025, and and also she wrote an article on that also. It's a chapter, and we will be publishing that in our Crucial Pharmacology Trends book also. That will be there. In addition, the moment I would like to appreciate Dr. Surya Sidhu that, I did not give any time. Yesterday, around 10:30, I just messaged her saying that, today is the Environment Day, and we should celebrate through MPS in one or the other way, and ecopharmacology is the most important topic. And she kindly just told that, yes, we can do it. And we were debating whether we should do it today or next week. Then I said, no, it should be done today itself, means on 6th of June. Then she agreed that also I should congratulate her for quickly making
Yes.
up and
Thank you, sir.
packing this package for today. And really,
So it was all your
appreciate.
hard work, sir. Organizing this webinar was
Yes,
your
yes,
hard work, so
yes.
you need the
Taking,
credit.
taking
And for
initiative.
this topic, the whole credit goes to Rahman, sir. It was his vision 20 years back, for due to which I am presenting this webinar today. Thank you, Rahman, sir, for
And
that.
definitely we would like to have this session, this kind of sessions happening regularly. Not
Yes,
only this topic, we will again take up other topics also, and so many people are interested to talk and give talk on various topics. And MPS is for all of you, and it is your society, and we will definitely follow whatever the commands come from all of you. We
yes,
are all the we are the well-wishers of medical pharmacologists, and we want to grow the pharmacologists in all the directions, recognize them, recognize their contribution and encourage them to contribute more and do whatever best from our side. And we have been doing that, and we have the track record also for doing all this work. And yes, we are here for to serve all of you. Thank you so much. I would like to congratulate Dr. Suyog Sindhu for making it a grand, excellent presentation. And it was very well received by, I see even now 68 people are online. I have seen many webinars, so only 10, 20 people are there. So it shows that, like 68 people are online, and in a matter of 24 hours, we had 150 plus registrations. And I think by this now, I think more than 180 people are registered. And I'm sure, this video is going on, this presentation or webinar. It is live in YouTube, and it will remain there itself. And those who missed, it will be shared to all of them. It will be there. It will be posted in the webinars group and all the other groups also. Hope it will reach more people, and the concepts discussed in this. So to summarize, my takeaway from the MPS webinar or from the MPS society is that we will be writing to Drug Control of General of India
yes,
under the
yes. It's
guidance
important.
of Dr. Rahman sir and Dr. Suyog Sindhu madam. So please, can you help us to draft a letter to DCGI and also to the Government of India, and we will write to them and emphasize on the concepts that are discussed and what is the importance of it. And maybe if you can, since you have already read the various other guidelines, if you can put up some white paper, the concepts, like how the other countries are followed and what is required in our country. So if you can put up, maybe around 10-page document to what is going on, what needs to be done, and what is the future of it. Maybe in maybe 3-4 pages. Also, it's fine for us. So some guidelines so that the regulators will look into it with some references. And if we can quickly make it, and then we will definitely submit this document to DCGI and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and JP Nadda, Mr. JP Nadda and Government of India. So we will be submitting to. I will definitely do that. There is no doubt about it, and we will take it up and we'll propose. And also, all the viewers of this team who are sitting here, all the pharmacologists who have joined, I would like to request all of them to, maybe initiate one knowledge KPS, knowledge, practice, and attitude towards this. At least, this will bring the awareness to all their, faculty members and the management and the people around them. Just, it's always better to start with the KPS study, which looks simple, but it will have a, wide impact because that will raise the awareness and curiosity. So it will help us to bring awareness, and also we can do a collaborative study if there is a way, like maybe Dr. Rahman sir can guide us, since he is the person who is the pioneer and stalwart in this area. And we'll be happy to, collaborate and maybe a national, some kind of work we can work together. And in this way, MPS can play a role in bringing the researchers together. And next year, anyway, we will be meeting in Bangalore in CD Summer with MPS Con 2026. And maybe, larger discussions can happen. Maybe we can have a panel discussion or any quiz on it or some other activities towards this to popularize the topic. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shiva and Dr. Shiva. Yes, okay. Thank you, Dr. Shiva, for organizing this wonderful lecture.
So, thank you, sir. Thank you, madam, everyone. And I will be sharing the feedback, form in the WhatsApp group. Please, everyone, I request everyone to give the feedback, and also your certificates will come along with that also. Just one note is that, you can maybe a little bit, only 50 certificates can be disposed in one day. If the form is closed for one day, don't worry. It will again automatically open next day. So you can try again to give the feedback and collect your certificate. And our certificates are definitely ready. So you can slowly, attend the feedback and automatically it will come to your inbox. You can try check your spam folder also. There also, at least if it is not there in the main box, it will be there and you can collect it back from there. And I will be preparing a separate, speaker certificate and also chairperson certificate, and I will send you. So thank you so much for being part of this, and looking forward to see you all in our next venture on some webinar. Hope we will do it. I think it's the best way. Don't keep any timelines. Quickly, 1 day, 2 days. If you find some time, immediately do it, and it will benefit our fraternity and everyone. I think that's the best way. I'm feeling very happy that we could make it very quickly, and it was successful also. Thank you so much, everyone. So now we can close the meeting if no other questions are there.
Thank you so much. Okay. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Namaskar.
Good day.
Goodbye.